इन्वेस्टिगेशन चालू।
Republic managed to access CCTV footage showing the absconding accused Mihir Shah leaving a pub mere hours before the incident.
ये जो घर का जो हालात है, ये जो लड़की है रोए जा रही है, बेटी है रोए जा रही है, बेटा है रोया जा रहा है, क्या होगा इस फैमिली का। ये नवाबजादे जो बड़े बड़े गाड़ी लेके तेज रफ्तार से गाड़ी दौड़ाते हैं रास्ते में और किसी का भी जान ले सकते हैं क्या? ऐसा अधिकार किसने दिया है उनको? किसी का भी जान ले सकते, पीस के चले जाए। और एक्सीडेंट होने के बाद उनको लेके गाड़ी 4 से 5 किलोमीटर तक गया। अगर तभी गाड़ी वो रोक देता तो शायद आज इस घर का ये हालत नहीं होता। यही हम पूछते रहेंगे कि कब तक ये रईसजादे गाड़ी चलाएंगे रास्ते पे, अपना रास्ता समझ के तेज रफ्तार से गाड़ी चलाएंगे। और एक लड़की अपनी माँ को उसने खो दिया, लड़का माँ को खो दिया। एक पति जो पूरा घर का काम कारोबार संभालने के बाद भी बाहर का कारोबार भी संभालती थी, एक पत्नी को खो दिया।
Although Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde has assured a stringent action and said that there will be no miscarriage of justice,
कोई भी हो उसको बख्शा नहीं जाएगा। और ये जो मैंने पुलिस कमिश्नर जी को भी कल कहा है कि हिट एंड रन में जितने भी होटल है, ये होटल जितने देरी से रात को बंद करते हैं उनके ऊपर कार्रवाई करो, लाइसेंस रद्द करो। और जो ड्रंक एंड ड्राइव वाला जो ड्राइव है वो भी तेज करो, वहाँ पर भी तेज़ी से चेकिंग करो। जो भी है वहाँ पर कोई भी ड्रिंक करके ड्राइव न करे और ऐसे एक्सीडेंट ना हो। और इसलिए उनको ऐसे अगर जो हैबिचुअल है उनको लाइसेंस भी उनका रद्द करने के मैंने बोल दिया है। और इसलिए ये बहुत बड़ा ड्राइव अभी पुलिस लेंगे और ये हिट एंड रन जो है इसको पूरी तरह हम पाबंदी कैसे हो सकती है इसके ऊपर काम कर रहे हैं। इसमें कड़ी कार्रवाई होगी, जो भी है उसको छोड़ा नहीं जाएगा।
the reality on the ground remains entirely different and contradictory. For how long will power and money provide a safe passage for politically linked accused? Why hasn't the Mumbai police hunted down the absconding accused Mihir Shah yet?
Well, shifting focus now to Hathras. It's been 6 days since the devastating stampede that took place in Hathras, killing about 121 people. UP police so far has arrested 12 individuals, but so far there is no word as far as the Baba is concerned. In fact, he's not even been named in the FIR. Today, Baba's lawyer has given a new twist to the entire story, saying that there was a poisonous spray that was used when the crowd had gathered, resulting in a stampede-like situation. So there is an attempt that has been made by the Baba's legal counsel, essentially indicating that this was part of a larger conspiracy.
A judicial probe is underway in the Hathras stampede tragedy that killed 121 people last week. Earlier, 6 people, including the main accused, who is the self-styled Baba's primary aide, were arrested. And 2 more people were arrested earlier today. Republic TV spoke to the lawyer who has now alleged that anti-social elements disrupted the crowd after the satsang by spraying poisonous substances.
Use spray, poisonic, dangerous spray, and run in a very speed, very fastly. And after doing every illegal work, and they set in their cars, which are available on route towards ETA, and they run away. So I also send a written complaint before SP Hathras that take CCTV footage, freeze CCTV footage towards ETA and towards Aligarh toll plaza. That is a compulsory. By this investigation, a real culprit may be sent to bar.
A total of 11 people have been arrested in connection with the incident till now. But the main person responsible for this devastating incident, the self-styled godman Bhole Baba, is yet to be questioned. Republic also accessed the permission document given by the UP government allowing a gathering of 80,000 people. But in reality, over 2.5 lakh people turned up, resulting in huge chaos and a riot-like situation.
There have been 11 arrests that were made in this case so far, but the key question is that will the accountability, will the responsibility also be fixed of this self-styled godman who claims himself to be Narayan Sagar Hari but whose real name is Surajpal Jatav? Will he be made to get away? Will there be no sterner action that would be taken against him? Only time will tell. So far, what we can tell you from the ground is that the investigation is going on and all those people who have either died or have injured still await justice from the Uttar Pradesh government and all the agencies that are involved in this investigation.
6 days have gone by since the deadly and devastating stampede. But Bhole Baba is not yet questioned by the police. Meanwhile, the family of the victims are crying out for justice and for those responsible for the tragedy to be brought before the law.
That's all that we could pack in this edition of Across the Republic. Don't miss the special broadcast coming up at 7 p.m. with Russia's leading broadcaster, Russia Today.
From United States to China, the world looks on at the Putin-Modi camaraderie.
India-Russia ties are quite strong. We share a special and privileged partnership.
Indian people so nicely, so kind. I like them very much.
बहुत अच्छी साइन है कि दो राष्ट्राध्यक्ष, दो मित्र देश एक साथ मिल रहे हैं.
Join me, Sujarita Kukreti, live from Moscow as I report for Republic TV.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university in the recently released Education World Rankings. A testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked standards in education.
कन्फर्मेशन के हिसाब से दो अलग अलग इनकाउंटर साइट्स पे इनकाउंटर्स हुए हैं. बॉडी की कन्फर्मेशन के हिसाब से 6 आतंकियों का मारे जाने का खबर है. जी जी
सर, कितनी बड़ी सफलता है ये सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस के लिए, क्योंकि काफी चल रहा था पिछले दिनों से इंटेलिजेंस इनपुट जिस अंदाज से जम्मू में कुछ टेरर अटैक्स हुए थे और लगातार उसके बाद ऑपरेशंस आपने शुरू किए. डोडा में 4 टेररिस्ट मारे गए, उसके बाद बारामूला में और अब साउथ कश्मीर के कुलगाम.
निसंदेह ये एक बहुत बड़ा माइलस्टोन है, बहुत बड़ा प्रोग्रेस है.
His third term and Prime Minister Narendra Modi chooses Russia for his first bilateral visit. From the United States to China, the world looks on at the Putin-Modi camaraderie. Join me, Sujarita Kukreti, live from Moscow as I report for Republic TV.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Prime Minister Modi lands in Moscow for the first time since 2019, and he'll attend a dinner hosted by President Putin later tonight. PM Modi greeted with a ceremonial guard of honor as he lands in Moscow to attend the 22nd India-Russia summit. Prime Minister in Moscow with big bilateral on the cards. All eyes now on the historic Modi-Putin meeting. Shinde Sena leader Rajesh Shah granted bail in the Worli hit-and-run case. Driver remanded to one-day police custody. Top court dismisses plea. Top court dismisses plea by Mamata's government challenging High Court order over CBI probe in Sondeshkhal. And Supreme Court asked CBI to file a status report on the investigation of the NEET scam so far. Right, getting a breaking news development. Let's begin the bulletin with that. It's coming in on Hathras investigation. Remember the unfortunate Hathras stampede. Now an audio clip is being circulated in the city where two sevadars of Bhole Baba are heard having conversation of how the Hathras stampede resulted in loss of many lives. This was caused due to mismanagement. The investigating officers so far have not verified the authenticity of the audio, but it's clear that the audio suggests that there was some mismanagement on the part of the organizers, which the Sevadars, who are part of the team of Bhole Baba, seem to be admitting to. Let's listen into the audio, and then we have Piyush joining us live. Piyush Ohri joining us live in a bit.
अरे यार बहुत लोग खत्म हुए यार।
नहीं बामे हो तो बहुत लोग गए खत्म है। बामे कोई ऐसी दिक्कत ना है। बाय तो कि परले आई हो उनको।
अच्छा।
उनने पहले बताया और परमात्मा ने कि घबराने जरूरत नहीं, आवश्यकता नहीं है, घबराना मत। इसमें कई लोगों की मौत हो जाएगी आज।
अच्छा फिर?
हाँ, तासे लोग जिसका ही वो तो चाहिए तो उन्हें अपने आप सड़क पर गिरने लगे थे मर के।
अच्छा।
वहाँ जो एक घबराना, एक गिरो, दो गिरे, फिर तीन गिरे, फिर अपने आप सब लोग भागा मची, फिर और मरिए, फिर उन तो लाश है पिछिए ही।
और तुम कहाँ थे?
हम भाई जगह फटे जहाँ सब फाइनल मर रही थी भाई जगह हम लोग हम कहाँ हुए यार, हमें तो फिर उन बचाए लो, हम क्या करें भैया। हाँ हमें भेज दो कि जाओ अपने घर है चुपचाप।
अच्छा।
भक्ति करो यार नारायण साकार रही और भक्ति जाने छोड़ दियो ताजना तमुना है बच्चे जो कह दी।
अच्छा।
हाँ जिसको भैया भक्ति जो करे उनकी बोई बच पाए, अब उनने परले शुरू कर दो आज से।
अच्छा।
अब बचाव संभव ना है, अब तो निश्चित आना ही आना है। उनने खुलासा कर दी, टेर बता दो, अब कम से कम 2 लाख की भीड़ थी। हाँ भीड़ बहुत होती ताकि हमारे सबको ये कोई दिक्कत ना है, प्रभु जी यही है सब चीजें, कोई ऐसी बात ना है। हाँ वह सब हो सकत तो वे लाशा रखी हैं तो हो सकत वे जिंदा कर सकत, कोई बड़ी बात ना है।
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा।
हाँ वे कोई बड़ी बात ना है, घबराने की जरूरत ना है। वह सब कुछ ऐसे रुकवा दो।
अच्छा
हाँ अबे कोई बड़ी बात ना, मरे हुए जिंदा करते थे। अबे परीक्षा ले तो का करते हैं, कौन कौन आए रो अधिकारी, कौन उनके सामने ना आए रो, तासे उनने जो फैलाओ राग, उन्हें कोई पहचान ना पाए रो। अबे अपनी पूरी पहचान बता रहे, टेटर कह रहे हम कोई खरीदारी नहीं है, हम खरीदारी नहीं है, फिर भी ना आदमी समझ पाए रो।
अरे
हाँ अबे टेटर का आज बहुत कई समझे उनने कि जो मैं खरीदारी समझ रहे हो, मैं हम खरीदारी नहीं है। आज देखो क्या होता है, संभालो कितना संभाल पाओगे। तासे घबराए में जुड़ना है, उन्होंने कह दिया हमें मारना होगा तो हम घर में से मार देंगे जाके, नहीं मारना होगा उसको हम घर चुपचाप भेज देंगे। आज 25 साल हुई, कहूँ इतनी भीड़ भाई, इतनी भीड़ भी कहूँ हादसा देखो तुमने कभी नहीं मिला होगा। आज उनकी नील हाथी दिखाए रहे तो हाँ भाई कोई ना रोक पाए, कोई आया संसार में कोई ना रोक सकता। उन्होंने कह दी हमको कोई नहीं रोक सकता। तासा घबराए हुए जोतना है भैया, सब डराते हैं उनसे, प्रभु जी से घबराते हैं, सब संगत घबराए रही प्रभु जी से कि पता नहीं। हाँ सब घबराए रहे प्रभु जी से। हाँ बहुत एक घबरा रहे, पुलिस याद अधिकारी लोग मरिए हुए हम पुलिस वाले लोग निरे ताजा घबराइयो ना उनसे भैया, डराते रहे तो बचे रहे, नहीं डरे तो को विनाश हो बचाव संभव ना है। लोग गए खत्म है,
कम से कम 3 लोग खत्म हुए, 3 साढ़े 3
हमें जानने की कीमत है।
तुम तो हमने कैसे बची जाएगी
जब एक खत्म हुई है तो खत्म हुई है, फिर डरे हो ना तुम मत। जैसे तुम भैया कहने गिर तुम्हारे ऊपर आदमी लेकर पड़ो, फिर दूसरों भरो बो गिर पड़ो, तीसरों बो गिर पड़ो, हजारों आदमी तो पिछियो हुआ
एकदम।
अब एकदम परले तो आई, हम कह गा रहे परले तो आई हूँ बच्चा भाई, और कोई बात ना है, परले ही उनने दिखाई दो और क्या कर दो। अब तक इतनी 25 साल हुई, कहूँ ऐसो भाव कहूँ
तो ना हो जाता।
और ज्यादा से ज्यादा भीड़ तो राजस्थान में होते, जब 2 लाख की भीड़ थी, लगभग अपना 3-3 लाख की भीड़ होता है। हाँ कोई ज्यादा
लेडीज में जाता
तो लेडीज हूँ, आदमी हूँ बहुत बहुत।
अच्छा
आदमी बहुत अस्पताल पर एम्बुलेंस पूजी नहीं है
तो तुमने देखो
यार, हम तो सब लाशें उठवाई हूँ भैया यार, उठी ना सदा बेसदा हुई यार हमारी।
अरे
हम किने किने कह रहे हैं हटा ना दो, जब पुलिस ने चलो उन्हें उठवा ना ली सब
भाई टाइम न लगी रही है, हमने कुछ पता नहीं कहाँ
ना कोई ऐसी बात ना, घबराओ ना, परेशान होना, सब आइए सुरक्षित, सब है, सब कोई ऐसी बात ना। हाँ जो रहिए बेऊ सब सुरक्षा, सब जहाँ तहाँ जाम कर दो तो रोड कोई ऐसी बात ना है।
All right, Piyush Ori joins us live. In fact, he's the one who has accessed this audio. Piyush, clearly it emerges from this audio that that there was mismanagement, and 2, that post the mishap, the management tried to cover up. It's clear from the conversation between these two Sevadars who are part of the team of Bhole Baba that they knew that mismanagement has happened and they wanted to do a cover-up job, hatchet job of it.
So yes, good evening to you, Abhishek, and you raised a very pertinent point. Yes, there was mismanagement, and the reason for the mismanagement was that the private force of this self-styled government, Bhole Baba, whose real name is Surajpal Jatav, was given a free hand. In fact, of the sources who have spoken to us with Republic in private, the UP police have also considered that how most of this private force are managing the show, and the UP police were not given the free hand to manage the public, and thereby you saw that how, because of the mismanagement, the reported conversation between these two associates of Sevadar maintain, they admit that there was mismanagement, and that resulted in a stampede, and that resulted in death of over 121 people. The key question over here now is that even though there have been 11 arrests that have been made so far by the Uttar Pradesh police, the key question is that all these people who have been arrested so far are just Sevadars, they have been associates. And will the buck stop only with the arrest of these associates and Sevadars, or will the UP police go ahead and also arrest those people who were giving these people directions? And when I talk about giving these people directions, I also mean that will the responsibility go and stop at the doors of this self-styled godman, Bhole Baba, or Surajpal Jatav, or what his real name is. Now we have exposed over here in Republic that how this Bhole Baba, this self-styled godman, has a financial clout, and how also because of his financial clout, he has some political links. So thereby it becomes now very important of the two parallel investigations that is being undertaken first by the Uttar Pradesh police and also by the Judicial Commission. Will the buck stop only with the arrest of these sevadars, or will the buck stop with the punitive action being taken against this person also, whose name is Surajpal Jatav, identified as Bhole Baba among his devotees? Back to you in the studio.
One quick question before I let you go, Piyush, and which is that, has this audio been taken on record by the police as part of its investigation? And these two sevadars who are having this conversation, have they been identified?
Well, so far, Abhishek, what I can tell you is that this has not been verified and this has not been authenticated by the Uttar Pradesh police in public. However, as what we have been told by the sources is that the Uttar Pradesh police, in fact, at the police lines today, there was a very long meeting of all the investigating officers in the case. And when we tried having a word with them, they just told us that, yes, they are trying to verify the video, but officially, they are not authenticating the veracity of this video. And right now, there are over 78 suspects. Most of them are sevadars who are in the radar of the Uttar Pradesh police as far as the mismanagement of this Hathras religious congregation is concerned. It is important to note, however, that of the 78 suspects which are in the radar of Uttar Pradesh police, there is no name of Bhole Baba, whose real name is Surajpal Jatav. So yes, it is going to be now interesting to see that in the days to come, will the buck stop only with the arrest of these sevadars, or will the buck stop at the doors of the self-styled godman Surajpal Jatav also? Back to the studio.
All right, thank you so much, Piyush, with those updates. We are going to keep close tracks of investigation taking place. Close track of the investigations taking place in the Hathras stampede tragedy, and keep bringing to you the latest. Moving on, let's look at some other stories from across the country in a Bharat in 5 minutes wrap. Congress MP Rahul Gandhi visited Manipur today and met people at a relief camp in Churachandpur. His visit to Manipur comes a year after violent clashes happened in the state between two communities. This is Gandhi's first visit to the strife-torn state since being elected to the Lok Sabha from Uttar Pradesh's Raebareli in recent general elections. He is also expected to meet Manipur Governor Anusuya Uike at the Raj Bhavan. NCP Sharad Pawar leader Jitendra Avhat called the Worli hit-and-run case a serious matter and said that people in Pahar are not bothered. On Sunday, a speeding BMW car belonging to a Shiv Sena leader rammed into a two-wheeler, throwing the Worli couple on the bonnet of the car. While the husband managed to jump off, his wife was dragged for 100 meters and was declared dead when taken to hospital.
Very serious matter. People who in power are not bothered. I really feel very sorry that a lady has been pulled, dragged for 1 kilometer, and that shameless leaves the car there and runs away. It's a very serious matter, very, very serious.
In the anti-terror operations in Jammu and Kashmir's Kulgam, the armed forces have recovered arms and ammunition from the terrorists that were neutralized. The operation has been undergoing for the last 3 days now. The operation began when the Indian Army received information that some terrorists were hiding in the region. 6 of those have been neutralized so far. After the Supreme Court rejected the West Bengal government's plea challenging Calcutta High Court order directing CBI probe in the Sandesh Khali incident, CPM leader Mohammad Salim said the government's role is to investigate and find out the truth. He called the Supreme Court's order right and added that there must be an inquiry. He also accused the Mamata government of protecting the main accused.
सरकार का काम है जांच कराना, सत्य को निकालना ढूंढ के। यहाँ पे वो सत्य को दबा करके मिथ्या बोलती है ममता बनर्जी और तृणमूल कांग्रेस सरकार। इस बात का फिर प्रमाण हुआ है, जांच हो, दूध का दूध पानी का पानी हो।
In Karnataka's Nelamangala, several people lined up to receive alcohol. The incident happened at a party organized by Chikvallapur BJP MP K. Sudhakar, who was celebrating his Lok Sabha win from the constituency. Bengaluru Rural SP C.K. Baba shared that the excise department had given permission for this and the police were instructed to take care of the arrangements. Days after BSP Tamil Nadu chief K. Armstrong was murdered by a group of men outside his house in Chennai, gold scam angle has emerged in connection with his murder. Tamil Nadu Congress President Selvapuram Thagai K. said that during Armstrong's funeral he heard people talk about the Arudra gold scam. He questioned the connection between the murder and the scam and demanded a thorough investigation.
What connection with Arudra gold and the BSP state president Armstrong and Arcade Suresh? So that should investigate. What we are telling, we will go all views.
A speeding van carrying school students overturned in Surat's Molad village, where there were around 9 children in the van, out of which 6 have sustained minor injuries. MOS Praful Pansaria assured strict action in today's incident. He also said that the parents should file complaint of such van drivers who drive rashly and risk the lives of children before the police. Parts of Maharashtra are experiencing heavy rainfall. Several areas are waterlogged and movement of cars has been affected. Many flights have been cancelled and Mumbai has been put on a red alert. Chief Minister Eknath Shinde said that the senior BMC officials are present at all waterlogging prone spots in the city and that the State Disaster Management Authority as well as the NDRF and the BMC are on alert. NDRF teams have reached all 3 coastal districts in the state, and Army, Navy and Air Force are also in a state of alert. Getting in updates in the Kulgam encounter, which went on for the last 3 days, apart from whatever ammunition that has been recovered from the 6 terrorists that were neutralized. Now, information comes in that the first hideout was in the residence of Yawar, while the second hideout in Chinigam was in the residence of OGW or overground worker Mushtaq Bhatt. They had been using these hideouts for many months. Have a look at this report.
को हमें टेररिस्ट के मूवमेंट की एक सटीक खबर चिनीगाम इलाके में मिली और खबर मिलते ही 6 तारीख की 1500 बजे शाम तक कॉर्डन लग चुका था। 24 घंटे चले इस ऑपरेशन में 4 टेररिस्ट मारे गए। ये ऑपरेशन कंक्लूड करने के बाद सर्च के दौरान हमें तकरीबन 6 केजी की एक आईडी भी मिली, जिसे कोलैटरल डैमेज को ध्यान में रखते हुए तत्कालीन तौर पे इन सिटू वहीं बर्बाद कर दिया गया।
Right, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has landed in Moscow. He was given a ceremonial welcome at the airport with first Deputy Prime Minister of Russia receiving him. Also a festive welcome by the Indian community at Hotel Carlton, where Prime Minister is put up. In fact, let's look at some reports coming in from Moscow about Prime Minister's visit and the manner in which Russia is going about it. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a 2-day official visit to Russia. Prime Minister will meet Russian President Vladimir Putin. Prime Minister would meet Russian President Vladimir Putin during the visit and hold 22nd India-Russia Annual Summit talks. The two leaders are expected to discuss various issues ranging from global issues to relations between the two countries. A discussion on the Russia-Ukraine war is also on the cards, and it is expected that the Prime Minister will call for an early discharge of the Indians stuck in conflict. As PM Modi lands in Moscow, Russian artists beat dhol and said they are happy to welcome the Indian Prime Minister to their country.
हमें श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के स्वागत में नृत्य करने का अवसर मिला।
Hello, my name is Irina. I'm from Moscow. I'm very happy and excited to perform here, and I very like to dance.
Members of the Indian diaspora say they are excited to meet Prime Minister during his official visit. PM will also interact with the Indian community living in Moscow. Young members of the Indian diaspora in Moscow raised slogans of Vande Mataram and cheered Prime Minister Modi as he arrived. They called Prime Minister an inspiration for youth and shared their excitement to meet the leader.
India-Russia relations will be in the spotlight as the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi pays a state visit to Moscow on Monday and Tuesday, marking his first visit to Russia since 2019. Now, we could see outcomes that will impact the geopolitical landscape. You can follow the latest updates right here on RT International in cooperation with India's Republic TV channel. We've got every angle covered for you, so make sure you don't miss it.
In his third term, Prime Minister Narendra Modi chooses Russia for his first bilateral visit. All eyes are going to be on the Modi-Putin camaraderie. We get you all the live updates here from Moscow in collaboration with Russia Today.
PhonePe proudly presents Share.Market. Open a Demat account by 31st July and get zero brokerage till 31st December on FNO and intraday, equity delivery, wealth baskets, and zero account opening fees. Download Share.Market and start investing. Investments in the securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
आज golf खेला मेरे डेबिट कार्ड पे फ्री एक्सेस है ना मूवीज OTT सब पे कैसे
ब्रो तू जानता है इसका बैंक कौन है SBI गेट अ वाइड रेंज ऑफ बेनिफिट्स विद SBI वेल्थ इसे कहते हैं सॉलिड बैंक की सॉलिड बैकिंग
Character, the taste of success.
Hotel Management with AI. Join International Institute of Hotel Management.
सर मेंबरशिप होगा
पर मैंने तो यूज भी नहीं की
फिर तो वेस्ट हो गई
कैरी फॉरवर्ड कर दो
ऐसा कहाँ होता है
मेरी नीवा भोपाल हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी में
मतलब
इट लेट्स मी कैरी फॉरवर्ड माय अनयूटिलाइज्ड बेस कवरेज टू द नेक्स्ट ईयर
जिंदगी को क्लेम कर ले
American Pistachio presents Cracking News of the Hour.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university in the recently released Education World Rankings. A testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked standards in education.
The path to Mars is beset with challenges. And the crew and their families have committed a year of their lives in service to NASA, to the country, and to humanity's exploration of space. And so thank you. Congratulations and thank you to the crew for putting your previous careers on pause for a year and committing yourself to research that is going to enable our future exploration of space.
wonderful to be able to say hello to you all. Chapeo 1 has been a unique experience with great challenges, joys and sorrows, and a lot of hard work, with a fair bit of fun thrown in as well. I wish to thank the crew, my friends and family, and my partner Elliot, who told me not to name drop him, but he deserves it. During this mission, these people have given an incredible richness of shared experience and conversation, a gift of love and support that made this year possible. I am humbled that being away on a one-year Mars analog brought me closer to those I was with and those I left back at home.
Modi chooses Russia for his first bilateral visit. From the United States to China, the world looks on at the Putin-Modi camaraderie. Join me, Sujarita Kukreti, live from Moscow as I report for Republic TV.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university in the recently released Education World Rankings. A testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked standards in education.
spotlight as the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi pays a state visit to Moscow on Monday and Tuesday, marking his first visit to Russia since 2019. Now, we could see outcomes that will impact the geopolitical landscape. You can follow the latest updates right here on RT International in cooperation with India's Republic TV channel. We've got every angle covered for you, so make sure you don't miss it.
In his third term, Prime Minister Narendra Modi chooses Russia for his first bilateral visit. All eyes are going to be on the Modi-Putin camaraderie. We get you all the live updates here from Moscow in collaboration with Russia Today.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
This is Republic, and you're watching a very special episode of This Is Exclusive. Coming together of two leading broadcasters, Russia Today and Republic TV, as we get you an unmatched coverage of Prime Minister Modi's visit to Russia. And why exactly this is being touted as a historic visit. We'll take you through all the latest details. Joining me from Moscow is my colleague and our senior editor, Sucharita, who's going to be joining us on this broadcast. We're also going to get you the whole host of reporters and anchors joining from Russia Today to give you the Kremlin perspective. Over the next 20 minutes, we're going to take you through the details of why this visit is being touted extremely significant, keeping in mind that this is Prime Minister's first bilateral that's going to take place after the swearing-in ceremony has taken place. In fact, there is a marked shift from the traditional way that Indian Prime Ministers have conducted in the past, choosing their neighboring countries as the first visit, but the Prime Minister putting a stamp on that 7-decade-old relationship between India and Russia. First, take a look at this detailed report, and then we begin our special broadcast with Russia Today.
Moscow is gearing up to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This is the first Indian Prime Minister's visit to Russia since 2015. Prime Minister Narendra Modi landed in Moscow minutes ago and will attend a dinner hosted by President Vladimir Putin later today.
We've made it very clear that the Prime Minister in his third term has chosen Russia for his first bilateral visit, which really puts down the importance that he has given to the India-Russia ties. We know that this came as a surprise to many Western countries after the sanctions that had been put on Russia. But the Prime Minister very, very clear, and the Indian government very clear, that it wants to tread the path of very clearly strategic autonomy that India has been following, and it will do so in the future as well.
PM Modi will also take part in the 22nd annual India-Russia summit, which will begin tomorrow. PM Modi will also address the Indian diaspora in Moscow tomorrow morning. Republic also spoke to the members of the Indian diaspora who are eagerly awaiting Prime Minister's address.
I am joined by a group of Indian students here in Russia who are going to be performing for the Prime Minister Narendra Modi once he lands here. So let me speak to a few. How many days have you been preparing for this performance?
Well, to be honest, we've only been preparing for like 4 days roughly, but we've been waiting for quite a while now.
You guys are experts. You don't need much practice.
We try to make it our best, the best we can do.
So is there, when I just heard you all boys and girls saying Bharat Mata Ki Jai, if you can just say it for our camera, it'll be wonderful.
Bharat Mata Ki Jai! It's not just Indians. The locals in Moscow are also gearing up for the 22nd annual India-Russia summit.
Where are you from in Russia?
We're from Moscow, but in our team have got girls from all over Russia. We're so happy that Prime Minister is coming here and that relations between India and Russia becoming more strong. It really makes inspiration in all fields, not only culture, which we like, but also in economy, in travel, everything.
Beautiful. And where are you also from Moscow?
Yeah, Jiha.
Oh, Do you love wearing this jewelry, the dresses, the Indian dresses? How do you find them?
Yes, this is the main point why I adore Indians so much.
All eyes are on Moscow as two of the biggest leaders re-elected to power are all set to meet in what promises to be a momentous occasion to further enhance the historic ties between India and Russia.
Well, the sheer number of times that both the leaders have met in the past is a clear indication of how both the leaders view this entire relationship. 16 times that the Prime Minister has met President Putin, and as far as bilateral talks and various annual summits are concerned, 21 times India and Russia have come together. But things have actually changed. Post the Ukraine war, in fact, India taking a neutral position, and the very fact that in the last few months itself, Moscow inching closer to Beijing. What does that essentially mean? Keeping in mind that there has been a heavy reliance on defense cooperation that India has had with Russia. But as Sucharita, things have been changing. Over the last 25 years, we have seen how India too is moving away from Russia towards United States of America when it comes to their defense understanding. But today, with the Prime Minister's visit, many would say that perhaps India would be playing a pivotal role in diffusing the ongoing conflict. What's the mood like? What's on the agenda?
Shravan, it is very, very clear. It is very, very clear. I'm getting some audio that if it could be corrected. It's very clear that there is a mood, there is a thinking that the Indian Prime Minister can diffuse tensions between Ukraine and Russia. Now there is an affirmation when it comes to President Putin when you saw his remark on the Donald Trump comment. Now he very clearly wants this conflict to be ending, but there is required a mediation. Can Narendra Modi play that role of that mediation? Can Narendra Modi be the leader who can mediate between Ukraine and Russia? Now, we'll have to go back to the G20 summit. There was a lot of pressure by the G20 states to invite Ukraine to the G20 meet, which was in India. But since President Putin wasn't coming to the G20, Ukraine wasn't there. Now, this is a balancing act that India has been doing. Now, in the presence of President Putin on the sidelines of the SCO meeting, when Narendra Modi had met Vladimir Putin, he had very clearly spoken in his presence that war is not a solution. So, very clearly, Russia knows the stand that India has vis-a-vis war. Russia knows the stand that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has vis-a-vis dialogue between countries to de-escalate any situation. And the Indian administration has been doing that, be it the Israel-Palestine situation or the Ukraine-Russia war, that is the military conflict that they call it here, has been ongoing. And now the Prime Minister is here. There has been a political attack back home on Narendra Modi, saying that he should be speaking about peace when he comes here. But it is not just a political attack. Many believe that if there is an individual or there is a country that can play a pivotal role in the Ukraine-Russia conflict, it is India and it is Narendra Modi. Shravan.
Well, Sucharita, I'll request you to stay on with us. We'll also try and go across to our colleagues in Russia today in a short while from now. But before that, let me take all our viewers of This Is Exclusive through the details of what's really on the agenda. Because remember, as far as this trade talks that are likely to take place and several other issues, I'll just quickly take you through a snapshot of what we know so far in terms of the bilateral talk that's going to take place. Now, New Delhi-Moscow trade talks. I'll stay with this and just put this into perspective. Now, as far as the trade target is concerned, that was set at about $30 billion till about 2025. That has already crossed. In the financial year between 2023 and 2024, it has crossed the 60 billion mark. That in itself shows where it stands today. Let's take you through the other big agenda as far as Prime Minister Modi and Putin's meeting is concerned. It's also about pharma exports. Now remember, the trade balance was in fact heavily towards Russia, with India basically importing roughly about $60 billion in terms of oil and various other items. But that, remember, is also now changing with India positioning itself as far as pharma exports are concerned. So that's going to be another key issue. Now, this is perhaps the most sticking point, the bone of contention, because this is something that has irked India. The very fact that you've had at least 40 Indians who have been taken to Russia. In fact, they were misled and finally landed up taking up the war in Ukraine. They were fighting on behalf of the Russian forces. In fact, you've had the Ministry of External Affairs saying that all efforts are now being made to bring back the Indians safely. This too perhaps could figure in the agenda. Apart from that, of course, the focus is also about defense cooperation. Let's not forget that India and Russia have already signed multiple agreements, starting with that S-400 missile, and the fact that you've also had understanding with regards to Su-30 and a few other items too. And let's not forget about the licensed production that has also taken place between India and Russia as far as the T-90 tanks are concerned. I'll go back to Sucharita. She's tracking the visit of the Prime Minister very closely. Sucharita, the other focus essentially being as to how exactly is the West really viewing. In fact, it's very uncharacteristic when you've had a nation actually putting out a statement. In fact, the Kremlin went on to say that the West perhaps is looking at this entire visit of the Prime Minister from the eye of jealousy. And very bizarre statements have actually come in from some leaders, but some do say that it's in the interest of India.
Now, Shawan, it is very important to understand what India means to the geopolitical setting. Russia, what you I'm just reiterating what you said right now, has said that the Western powers in America are jealous of this meeting between Putin and Modi. So this very clearly shows that Russia is viewing this meeting as a very, very significant and important one, and it knows that the Western world is watching as Indian Prime Minister comes to Moscow. Then the Americans saying that they completely trust India in the decisions it's going to take. Now, the Americans are constantly being asked about the Modi-Putin meeting. They know that they have an ally in India, but they know that the Indians also and the Indian administration is also holding hands with Russia. But the Americans very clearly saying that they trust the Indian administration. Now that is also a kind of signaling at this time when the two leaders are meeting. Now the Chinese issuing a statement saying that India is just treading the American path. Now, when I say the Chinese, I'm only speaking about Global Times. That is very clearly saying that Indians are only treading the American path. Now, what does that show? It shows that India is at the center of every statement that's been given out. So India is at the center of this geopolitical turn that is happening. And the Indian leader and the Indian administration being lured by each and every country. We know that right now, where the Prime Minister is at the Carlton, I'm present at that very spot. He's just reached and he's going to be soon heading for that private dinner with Putin. Now, a lot of talks, a lot of agendas which are not formalized happen at these private dinners. So, very important meeting between the two state heads tonight, and then there will be the bilaterals. So, for sure, the Western world, the Americans, the Chinese eyeing this particular meeting. And when I say this with full confidence that India is the power to watch out for, and that the nations of the world understand. And that is precisely why each and every country has been issuing statements vis-a-vis the Indian Prime Minister's visit to Russia and his meeting Putin. Even Russia understands the importance of the Indian hand reaching out to it at a time when most have completely put out restrictions and have put Russia at bay. India is still reaching out to Russia, and that means a lot for this Russian administration.
Well, thank you very much, Sucharita, for joining us on this broadcast. I'll request you to stay on with us as we take our viewers through more details that are emerging right now. But let's also take you through what's the reaction really coming in from the Indian diaspora. Typical to what we have seen with every visit of the Prime Minister, it's also seen that same kind of excitement really coming in from the Indian diaspora. A short while back, you've also had the Prime Minister putting out a tweet where he says that it's a memorable welcome in Moscow. We've seen those images coming in of the diaspora coming together and greeting the Prime Minister. A while back, we've also spoken to the diaspora there. How exactly are they really viewing this visit of the Prime Minister? Let's not forget the Prime Minister in the past too has also reflected on the fact that the relationship between India and Russia has deepened also because of the people-to-people ties.
हमारे साथ इस वक्त इंडिया ओवरसीज रशिया में बीजेपी के अध्यक्ष सैमी कोटवानी जी हैं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमें समय देने के लिए कोटवानी जी। और मुझे बताइए कि आज प्रधानमंत्री भारत के रूस पहुंच रहे हैं, मॉस्को पहुंच रहे हैं। इस दौरे का महत्व क्या है आप लोगों के लिए, खासकर जो यहाँ भारतीय रूस के हैं?
देखिए, हमारे लिए तो बहुत बड़ी बात हो गई है कि प्रधानमंत्री ने इसे पहली जगह चुनी है तीसरे बार आने के बाद, क्योंकि है ना, ये हम नेक्स्ट 5 साल तक हम चिल्लाते रहेंगे। और ये जो सच्चाई है कि पीएम हमारे पास आए थे, रशियंस के लिए तो और बड़ी बात है, क्योंकि वो हमेशा सोचते थे कि सबसे जिम्मेदार भागीदार हमारा हिस्सेदार कौन हो सकता है, वो है रशिया। रशिया के लिए इंडियन से ज्यादा कोई भागीदारी में नहीं है, और वो एक बहुत अच्छा दोस्त ढूंढ रहे थे, और ये तो प्रूव हो गया कि इनसे अच्छा तो दोस्त कोई हो ही नहीं सकता है। हमारे यहाँ पे सब लोग कहते हैं कि पुतिन और मोदी जी है ना, वो कुंभ के मेले में बिछड़े 2 भाई है।
अच्छा, ये आप लोग कहते हैं?
या रूस में सब जानते हैं कि मोदी और पुतिन 84 इयर्स बैक, 84 साल पहले कुंभ के मेले में 2 भाई बिछड़ गए। उसमें से एक रशिया में पैदा हो गया जो व्लादिमीर पुतिन बन गए, और जो इंडिया में पैदा हो गए वो नरेंद्र भाई मोदी बन गए। अब इनकी खासियत क्या है? दोनों पॉलिटिक्स 2000 में आते हैं, दोनों अब तक पॉलिटिक्स में है। 3 महीने के फर्क में दोनों पॉलिटिक्स में आए थे। 2024 में दोनों ने इलेक्शन जीता है, राइट? और दोनों एक ही बात करते हैं। पुतिन जी कहते हैं मेड इन रशिया, और मोदी जी कहते हैं मेड इन इंडिया। ये दोनों सगे भाइयों की कहानी है।
तो आपको लगता है कि ये जो एक भावना है दोनों की ही अपने देशों के प्रति, ये उनको बॉन्ड करती? क्योंकि हम बहुत बार उनकी पर्सनल केमिस्ट्री की बात करते हैं, आपने तो दोनों राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्षों को बहुत करीब से देखा।
यस, ये इसमें कोई शक की बात नहीं। दोनों लोग की सोच एक ही है, वो अपने देश के लिए पहले काम करते हैं, देश हित के लिए काम करते हैं। अगर आप वॉर जोन में आइए, अगर आपको पता हो रशिया और यूक्रेन का अब जो चल रहा है, उसके बीच में आप मॉस्को में आए, आपको ऐसा एक पल के भी ऐसा कुछ लगा कि कुछ हो रहा है? नहीं, वो तो बॉर्डर पे जो हो रहा है वो बहुत ही हम क्या, पूरी दुनिया 2 भाइयों को लड़ते हुए नहीं समझ सकती है। इसके लिए हम अमेरिका को दाद देंगे, कैसे 2 भाइयों को लड़ा सकते हैं।
अच्छा, ये आपको लग रहा है अमेरिका दोनों भाइयों को लड़ाने की कोशिश कर रहा है? देखिए, इस वक्त नजरें अमेरिका की भी होंगी, चीन की भी होंगी। नरेंद्र मोदी रूस आ रहे हैं, लेकिन ये कहा जाता है कि चीन और रूस की दोस्ती भी बहुत ज्यादा आगे बढ़ चढ़ कर बोल रही है।
नहीं, रूस और चीन की कोई दोस्ती नहीं है। उनमें बिजनेस के संबंध बहुत ज्यादा हैं, उनका व्यापार बहुत अच्छा चल रहा है। लेकिन रशियन से अगर पूछोगे ना, अगर व्यापार करने के लिए उनको चीन से कोई एतराज नहीं है, लेकिन वो लोग विश्वास नहीं करते हैं। आज भी वो हमें हिंदुस्तानियों में विश्वास ढूंढ रहे हैं, और उनको पता है कि अगर उनको व्यापार करना है तो उनको सिर्फ हिंदुस्तानियों से ही करना है। और
आपको लगता है वहाँ एक ट्रस्ट डेफिसिट है और यहाँ पर एक ट्रस्ट सरप्लस है?
यस, हमारे बीच में ट्रस्ट की तो कोई बात ही नहीं है। मैं यहाँ पे रहता हूँ, मुझे नहीं लगता